All right, in this lesson, we're going to look at transversal lines and the angles that they create. So, our first definition, here is a transversal line. The red line is called a transversal line. And the reason it's called a transversal line is because if we follow it, it transverses on a journey. It actually transverses across two lines, so it's transversing these two blue lines. Here in this example, here is another red line that's transversing or crossing. You can think of the word transport, is transversing the other two lines. So the line has to cross at least two lines. It could actually cross another line, so let's put another line here. So it's still transversing. This time it's transversing three lines. So notice that when the transversal line crosses the other two lines, a whole group of new angles are formed. Quite a lot of angles. Let's look at them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are so many angles there that when we want to talk about these angles, it might be good if we could have names for the types of angles that we. The first type of angle we want to talk about is a pair that are formed like this. You can kind of see a Z shape here. A pair of angles like this. This pair is called a pair of alternate angles. Now we have a second pair of alternate angles, which I'm just coloring in red. And that's all we're going to get for this definition. So we have two pairs of alternate angles. If we look at the next diagram, we can see another two pairs. There's one pair, and here is a second pair. Again, you can kind of, if you turn your head, you can see that Z shape or a Z shape here. All right, this word alternate gives you a clue how they're defined. They're on alternate side of the transversal. This one is on this side of the transversal. This one is on this side. For the red, this one is on this side of the transversal. This one is on this side. Now, a common error, which we're not going to make, is some people look at these ones above the pair of lines. Okay, they don't count in our definition. For this particular definition, we're only interested in the ones inside the pair of lines that are being crossed. So there are two pairs of angles, of alternate angles. The next pair that we're interested in are called cointerior angles. Here is a pair of cointerior angles. Here is another pair of cointerior angles. And here is another pair of cointerior angles. And another pair of cointerior angles. So unlike the alternate angles, these two cointerior angles, that they form a pair, they're on the same side of the transversal. So here's the transversal. They're both on the same side. And they've got to be inside. That's where we get the interior word. They are the cointerior angles. And we have one more set of angles that we refer to in pairs. This is a little harder, can be a little harder to see. These are called the corresponding angles. And for these ones, we are allowed to go outside the blue lines. So this is the first pair that are called corresponding. These two together, they correspond with each other. Okay, in maths, correspond means usually matching or the same. And we'll notice something here. They're both on the same side of the transversal, and they're both, in this case, they're both above the blue lines. So here's another pair. This angle and this angle are also considered corresponding to each other because they're on the same side of the transversal and they're both above. Now we get 4 pairs this time. The corresponding angle for this one is here. And the corresponding angle for this one is here. Okay, I'm going to mark the corresponding angles on the other diagram. So this one and this one, this one and this one, this one and this one, and this one and this one. These can be a little harder to spot. Here's one way that some people like to spot them. Can you see here like an F shape? Here the angle is above the F, is above the F. And you might even see an F shape here, an F and an F. Or here on the side, an F and an F. All right, so to recap, we have the alternate angles. They alternate on either side of the transversal. We have the cointerior angles, which are on the same side. And then, slightly trickier, the corresponding ones, that makes 4 angles. There's set, and there's a pair of corresponding, and there's a pair of corresponding.